What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Force here with some more Magic the Gathering Duels 2013 multiplayer. Today I'm going to be playing the black deck, Obedient Dead, and it looks like I'm going first. Opening hand is okay, so we'll keep it. Start with a Swamp and throw down a Fume Spitter. It is a 1/1 that I can sacrifice to put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. I also have Liliana's Shade. It's a 1/1 that I can pump up by paying black mana. Also, when it comes into play, I get to search my library for a Swamp card and put it in my hand. Next up, I've got a Grave Tie-In. It costs 6 to play. It's a 6/6 with Death Touch, meaning anything that it touches in combat dies. Looks like I'm playing against that annoying deck. And also, when it comes into play or attacks, I get to put 2/2/2 zombie tokens into play. And the third thing that I have here is Murder, destroy target creature. All right, so I'm not going to really be able to attack right now because he is sitting here with this 0/2, so I'm just going to have to skip attack at this point. Next turn, I'll be able to get rid of one of his creatures, which will be good. This should be a pretty interesting game. So I'm playing against the Exalted deck. It is black-white. Good thing, though, is that he's got a lot of 1/1s, and as soon as that comes into play, I'm just going to pop this and sack. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna sack this to get rid of that. I guess I can wait for something Exalted though. I can really hold off. Do I want to murder yet? Let me hold off on the murder as well. Okay. So let's see what goes on here. Let's see here. He's gonna try to attack with that. I'm gonna sack this to give him -1/-1 before that goes through. And there you go, all set. So got rid of that thing before it got pumped up from the Exalted, which is pretty much exactly what I was hoping to do there. He's gonna play 2/1 pro-white Exalted. Then he says go. Get another Swamp. I have a Necrotal. Unfortunately, that is to destroy non-black creatures, which he's got a couple of blacks there, so it doesn't really help me. But I can play the Shade, which is gonna let me get a Swamp here. And I can still murder destroying target creature, but I'm gonna hold off on that for now. Holding off for now. So I'm gonna be able to get the Grave Titan in play, which is gonna be good. That's you know, really good creature to have. Necrotal can kill that, which it should next turn. That's what I'll do. He's gonna swing. It's gonna get popped up twice from the Exalted, bringing up to 4 damage. The Exalted deck is it can do so much damage so quickly. I'm gonna block it. Go for the block. And then this turn, we're gonna throw down the Necrotal. Comes into play. I'm gonna destroy this guy. Next turn will be the Grave Tie-In. He's gonna attack with that, which will get pumped up twice. I'm gonna let that go through though. See if he plays anything else. Nothing. Okay, so this turn we're going with Grave Titan. 6/6 comes into play. I get 2/2/2 zombie tokens out. It also has Death Touch. I am going to attack for 2. Let's see if he decides to block. Now this has First Strike, which is obviously excellent. He can block it. Oh, he can afford to regenerate it. I'm silly. So that's all that's going to happen. He's just going to block and regenerate. So attacking was kind of pointless, but oh well. So what I'm interested to know now, though, is if he has a creature destruction for him to destroy this beast right here, which he's definitely going to want to. And there it is right there. So, exile target creature, that is gone. You know, I mean, I kind of expected that, but it's not like I could just sit on the card all game and not try to play it, so. But, you know, I still got stuff going on here. I'm going to kill off his thing right here with this. This is pretty good here, actually. Check this out. All right, so we're going to play Crippling Blight. Enchanted creature gets -1/-1. It can't block. The biggest thing is just the -1/-1, though, which is enough to kill this off. So he is gone. We are then going to play a Murder to destroy this guy. Then I'm going to play the Shade. and then I'm going to attack for 6, and next turn it'll be for even more. So this is pretty good here. So next turn, maybe he kills off another one of my creatures. If he does, it'll probably be the Shade. That's the biggest threat to him, really, because I can pump this guy up. It's a 2/1 that I can just make massive. So if he's got another creature destruction, he'll probably play it, but he's going to use all his mana to play this. Flying Lifelink. It's +4/+4 as long as he has 25 or more life. Now, I can't do anything. Oh, wow. Wow. What a card to draw into. That is perfect. Watch this, guys. We're going to attack, and then we're going to do this. Play a Murder. Destroy his 4/4. Then we're going to pump this guy up for the rest. Beautiful. Oh, the drawing into that Murder was perfect. This thing would have hurt bad. He's down to 2. This should be the win next turn. Unless he's got something crazy here. Should be the game. Nice. Perfect top deck. Into the Murder. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. He's mulling over what he can do here. Search his library for a card, put it into his hand. Let's see what he gets. He only has 3 white, though, so what is he going to play for 3 white to save him? I don't think there's anything. I think he's just thinking it over here. But should be the game. I don't know. I don't know that deck well enough to know if he has anything that could potentially save him, though. But that should be the game. Unless he's got something that like gives all creatures -2/2. And this will be it. Combat phase, second main phase, nothing, end step. Got another destroy target creature. Not that I should need it here. We're going to attack. Let's see if he does anything, or if that's the game. There it is. Game number 1 goes to Force. Let's move on. All right, time for game number 2, this time against Terminator. Still, of course, using the Obedient Dead deck, and I get to play first again. And the opening hand is, I mean, 2 murders is nice. This is good as well, and obviously the Demonic Tutor's nice to have, but I kind of want something. Let's draw a new hand, see what we get here. Ugh. Okay, well, I forgo 2 murders for 2 shades. I do have this, which this card's amazing, and we'll take a look at that in a moment, but maybe the other hand would have been better. All right, so we've got 2 Liliana Shades. It's the 1/1 that I can pump up as well. Also lets me search for a swamp when it comes into play. I have this card. This thing is amazing. 4 to play, Phyrexian Obliterator. Whenever a source would deal damage to Phyrexian Obliterator, that source sacrifices that many permanents. It's hilarious. The card is so good. The question is, though, I'm against a blue deck. Will I be able to get that in play? That's a real concern right now, because he is likely to have counterspells, of course. Gonna play the Fog Bank. Also, this thing has Trample. This card's a riot. It's so good. All right, so what I need to hope is that he taps out this turn so that I can play Obliterator next turn. Is he gonna tap out? No, he does not. So, I'm going to try to play a Shade, see if we can draw counter spells for this. He might not ever tap out. He might be playing it super safe and just saving his mana for counter spells, which is not the worst idea. Looks like he's kind of probably doing that there. Let me throw down another Shade, see if he counters this. With both these Shades, I can actually start getting damage through because he can only block 1. So we'll see. I have no point in attacking his Fog Bank. All right, he's gonna repulse one of them back to my hand, which is gonna delay my ability to actually physically hit him. He taps out. Okay. What is he tap out doing? Playing Future Sight. Lets him play with the top card of his library revealed, and he can play with it as if it's in his hand. It's a really good card. Now that he's tapped out, okay, drew into a Spectre. I want to get this in play as fast as possible, so let's throw down the Phyrexian Obliterator. Now he, of course, has the opportunity to have additional bounce back, which he could just return this to my hand again. He does have a Rite of Replication, which he's probably going to play now. And copy my Obliterator. That'd be a funny trade. He's not going to play it. He must have bounce back right now. I'm not sure. This is interesting. This is really interesting. All right, so got a few things here that can be done. Few things that can be done. I am saving my murder, though. I'm definitely going to save that. Murder replication isn't an instant, is it? No, it's not. All right. So I've got Liliana's Spectre. It's a 2/1. Whenever it does damage, when it enters the battlefield, an opponent discards a card from his hand. I also have, of course, the Liliana Shade that got bounced back to my hand. The Murder is pretty crucial. Diabolic Tutor, pretty awesome to have. Kind of want to try to save that till he's tapped out. Also have 2 Rise from the Graves. This lets me pull a creature from any graveyard and put it into play under my control. Really good. We're going to try swinging right now, though. Let's see what he's going to do. He's going to repulse. He's going to repulse that, which there's nothing I can do about it. And he's just gonna block that. Now, do I wanna? No, I don't really want to murder that. It'd be kind of a waste. All right, so let's try throwing down the Obliterator again, and he will cancel that. Well, there you go. Now I can still pull it from my graveyard with the Rise from the Grave, though, so that is something to also keep in mind. And we're gonna throw down a Spectre now that he's tapped out, and say, "Screw you, buddy, for all these shenanigans. Discard a card, you son of a." You son of a... Alright, so discards. Time Reversal. Plays Sleight of Hand. Lets him look at the top 2 cards and pull a card. He already has that on the top. Next thing that he's got on top, he's going to play another Fog Bank. This is going to be a hard-won game here. I don't know that I have... I don't know that I'm really going to be able to win this game. It's going to be tough. Going to be tough, my friends. This guy's just got so much bounce back, and look at this. He can just freaking enchant my creature. Alright, so let me think here. Let me throw down a tutor. Yeah, let's see what we're gonna get here. That doesn't really help me. Could get that. Yeah. Pull him into our hand. Can't get him yet, though. And then I'm going to throw down another Shade. Let me get a Swamp. He's gonna Mana Leak the Shade. Wow. Not a terrible idea. Then I'll say go. Alright, so Massacre Worm would be nice to get in play. He's gonna throw down an Archaeomancer, probably gonna pull back a counter spell. Yeah, gonna get back a cancel. Frickin' It's gonna be a long battle, and I don't think that I have the chance to really win it. Let's take a look here. So I've got 8 that I can play. I know he's got a cancel in his hand, so I could just try to force him to use it. Let me try to force him to use it. I'm gonna attempt to play a Necrotal. He's gonna use his cancel. There it is. All right, then I'll say go. Plays another one of them, gets back another cancel. Unbelievable. There it is, returns the cancel to his hand. So annoying. So annoying. All right, so I've got a... I'm gonna try something here. I'm gonna attempt to... should I really waste a murder on that, though? It's sort of like a bait and switch, though. That's really what I'm trying to do here. I can't even do both. I could do that and then that, but he's just gonna bounce next turn. This is so annoying. Oh my gosh, you have no idea. Alright, I'm gonna attempt to murder one of his Archaeomancers. The idea is I don't want him bouncing it back to his hand, like bouncing back an Archaeomancer to replay it to get back more counter spells. And then I'm gonna say go. Now, sure, he could bounce this one back and then play an Archaeomancer and bounce that back, and you know, I know that he's got the opportunity to do these things. He's gonna play the 1/4. He's gonna play a mirror. He can exile an instant or sorcery with X, and at the beginning of his upkeep, he gets to play a copied version of that card. It's ridiculous. The card is ridiculous. Hatchling. This game is a loss. I do not see the possibility of me winning here. Alright, I'm gonna attempt to murder his Archaeomancer again. Yeah, he's just gonna let it go through. And then I'm gonna say go. I don't know. I don't know about this, guys. I do not know. This card's ridiculous, by the way, in his deck. Panoptic Mirror. Oh, sorry. Nothing on the mirror. Alright, so he's gonna put a Rite of Replication on it. So the beginning of his upkeep, he can continuously play this. This is ridiculous. That's the friggin' game. That is the game. GG, and I am out. Next duel. Yeah, that was just ridiculous. I was just outgunned there. Really rough. My turn again. Wow, I think this is the first time ever I've had the opportunity to go first so often. All right, so I guess we'll keep this and just kind of hope to draw into some more stuff. Let me show you what I have. Grave Titan, 6/6 Death Touch comes into play or attacks. I get two black zombies into play. Also have this card, Innocent Blood. Each player sacks a creature. Really good card. And then right here, each opponent loses X life. You gain X life for the amount of life lost that way. God darn it. Sorry, I was supposed to hit tab. Let him go. I apologize. All right, so that is my opening hand. A blue deck again. Oh joy, looks like the same damn deck that I just played. Ugh, God. All right, we're gonna say go, 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 go. This damn deck. Creatures with flying that he controls get +1/+1. Yep. That's great. Good for you. Congratulations. Turn 3, yeah, baby. Throw down the Spectre. Discard a card, punk. Serge Makarov. You best discard something. What's it gonna be, huh? What's he getting rid of here? What's he getting rid of? Oh, look at that. Getting rid of a Hydro Surge. I don't know that that's the best card to have in that deck. I mean, it's okay, but I think there's better alternatives. Turn 3. Doesn't play anything. Let's see if he's got himself a counter spell. I'll try to play a Shade. Either doesn't have one or deciding that that card is not worth countering, which I don't blame him for. It's not really. What are you doing? Why are you pausing here? What are you gonna bounce something? You try to bounce? I'm gonna hit you for 2. 2 in your face, Serge Makarov. Yeah, I don't know about this black deck, Obedient Dead. It's okay, you know? But it's a tough call. Maybe it's just how I'm building it. I don't know. He's gonna play Sleight of Hand. Letting him try to get some cards here. Notice he's a little heavy. He's got 55 in his deck as opposed to my 49. So we started well above 60. Turn 5. Let's take a look here. Choices. Well, let me do this. Let's go for the attack here. See what he decides to do, if anything. He needs to block this. Okay. So he's gonna block it, and I'm gonna pump this guy up 3 times to get the kill on his creature. And then my 2 goes through, so he's down to 16. And then next main phase, we're gonna throw down a Fume Spitta. And we're gonna say go. Well, much different game this time for us here. And I've got some decent options. He's gonna throw this down, gets 2 2/2 flyers in play, but they're 3/3s because of this bad boy. So what I'm actually gonna do, this is gonna be good here. Well, you know what? He can't counter right now, so maybe I should throw down the Grave Titan. So I was thinking about making him sack one of them with Innocent Blood, and then I would just sacrifice like this creature. But now that I've got an opportunity to throw this guy in play, I think we'll do it. Get our 6/6 Death Touch in play, which throws down 2 of those. And attack phase, we're gonna skip this turn, but next turn we will be swinging. Oh, we'll be swinging for the fences. No, not really. We'll just maybe I don't know, maybe a double. I'll go for a double. What are you talking about, Forrest? Nobody knows. All right, so he's gonna repulse, which will be bouncing back. Ooh, bouncing back my Shade here. Huh. Okay, well that's the creature that I can pump up, so I guess that kind of makes sense there, that he would bounce back the Shade. Now, the question here is, do I do this? Yeah, let's do this first. Innocent Blood, each player sacks a creature. So, I'm gonna sack my 1/1 here. He has to stack one of these unless he counterspells Innocent Blood, but I believe it's already resolved, and that is a beautiful situation for me here. I'm gonna throw down another Shade. Let's see if we can get him to counter this. He hasn't counterspelled anything. All right, and then we attack here, and I'm going to attack with the 6/6. I guess I could just attack with everything. If he kills the Spectre, whatever, I still get that damage through. Yeah, I'm gonna attack with everything here. Let's see what he does. Now attacking with this guy throws 2 more zombies in play every time he attacks. He's gonna block it with his 3/3, which would just kill it off. So yeah, there we go. He's gonna choose to block this instead. He can block the Grave Titan next turn. I don't know though, I think this guy is dead meat. I think we got the blue deck. This looks like a much worse build though than the deck that I played against last game, rather. Gonna play Rite of Replication. He's gonna copy my 6/6 there, which makes sense. All right, so here we go. Interesting here, interesting. Let me just try this. No, I gotta wait, because I gotta see if I need to pump him up or not. I was gonna say, let me just try to go for the kill here, but he could counterspell, and then I wouldn't be able to pump this guy up, which makes him much less threatening. So let me push through with all this. And here, let's see what he decides to do. Let's see what he decides to do here. He's gonna block the 6/6 with the 6/6. He's gonna block one of the 2/2s, one of his 2/2s. Gonna block another one of the 2/2s. He's blocking the same one, and he's gonna block the 1/1 with his 3/3. Now I'm gonna pump this up some. There we go. So that saves my Shade, and that's the win. Enough damage goes through. Yep. There you go. There you go. All right. All right, my friends, that'll do it here. Thanks so much for watching this video, taking a look at some MTG 2013 Duels of the Planeswalkers multiplayer. Again, this time we were taking a look at the Obedient Dead deck, and let me just quickly show you here what I have in the deck under Deck Manager. All right, so those are my 40 cards unlocked that I don't have. I get 2 Crippling Blights in here. Enchanted creature gets -1/-1, can't block. A couple of Fume Spitters as well. 1/1 that I can sack to put a -1 counter on a opponent creature, or I guess one of mine if I wanted to. Innocent Blood, really awesome card. Each player sacks a creature, so the idea is that I've got a lot of fodder creatures that I'm willing to sack, and if my opponent has 1 or 2 really big things that are getting in my way, that forces them to get rid of one of them. Myers Toll, 1 black, Target player reveals a number of cards from his or her hand equal to the number of swamps I control, and then I get to choose one of those cards that they discard. Got 2 of these, or yeah, 2 of them. Each opponent loses X life. You gain life equal to life lost this way. I got a couple of these. I don't really know how I feel about those. The only reason I threw these in the deck is because I have a few more expensive cards, and I thought this might be a good way to kind of alleviate that. But usually this is not something. I mean, it sounds great, but I don't know. Usually you won't see this in. A lot of times it makes more sense to replace this with an actual useful card as opposed to something just in case you've got a high casting cost card and not enough mana in play. Anyways, a couple of these. This card is awesome. It's a 2/1 for 2 lands that I can pump up. Really strong card. Sign in Blood, 2 black. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. A lot of time that's used on myself just to get some cards in hand. A couple of Specters. 2/1 flying. When it comes into play, each opponent discards a card. Murder, destroy target creature. We got 4 of those because we can. Diabolic Tutor, search my library for a card, put it into my hand. 4 Liliana Shades, lets me get an extra swamp, plus I can pump it up. Necrotal here, 2/1 first strike, enters the battlefield, destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature. Phyrexian Obliterator, this card's amazing, 5/5 trample. Unfortunately, you didn't really get to see it in play, but again, whenever a source would deal damage to it, that source sacrifices that many permanents. So good. Oh man. Halo Hunter, 6/3 Intimidate, comes into the battlefield, destroy target angel. Probably could do without this, especially since, I mean, you know, not a lot of decks have angels. The Intimidate is useful pretty much in every situation, but Rise from the Grave, amazing. Take target creature from any graveyard, put it in the battlefield under my control. I get a Dread, 6/6 Fear. Whenever a source would deal damage to me, destroy it. Plus, whenever Dread is put into the graveyard, I get to shuffle it into my library. Grave Titan, you saw this bad boy. 6/6 Death Touch, enters the battlefield or attacks. I get 2 2/2 zombie tokens in play, plus it has Death Touch. Massacre Worm, 6/5 comes into play. Creatures my opponent control get -2/-2 until end of turn. Plus, whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, they lose 2 life. This is amazing against decks with really small creatures, which we will call weenie decks. And then a Grizzlebrand. Thing is Rawful. Didn't get to see this at all either, but it's a 7/7 flying lifelink. I can pay 7 life to draw 7 cards. Thing is unreal. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Once again, if you like the content, please subscribe. And as always, keep watching and keep owning.